The following is a presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
For a third consecutive season, Carson-Newman is dancing. They're into the NCAA Tournament as the 6th seed, taking on 3rd seed at Anderson with Mike Mincey. I'm Michael Watching for the Eagles Sports Network. And Coach, it had never been done in the Division II era, and I'm sure for you, how things have played out at the end of the year the last 2 years have obviously been tough because there have been goals in mind that you guys didn't quite accomplish in the regular season or the conference tournament. But to get to the NCAA tournament is an accomplishment in and of itself, and you guys were steadily in throughout this season. How do you reflect on that and actually take some enjoyment in it and still be hungry at the same time?
I mean, it's been a great season by our crew. We've played really well. We've scored it well. We've had some big moments. Obviously, we've lost some really critical games close that kept us from attaining the first goal, which was a regular season title. And, we just kind of talked about it a minute ago that if a shot doesn't go up and go in with a second left on the clock, we're sharing the title with Anderson and was going to be the 1 seed if everything plays out the way it did. So, we've had a great year. Anytime you can win 20 games, you can be solidly in the NCAA tournament and going into the SAC tournament. You got to feel good about yourself. And, we've played well. I'm really proud of how we've shot the ball. Defense has been sometimes our Achilles heel, and it certainly was against Tusculum in the semifinal game. But as always, to be able to go 4 straight years, 20-win seasons, and, of course, 3rd straight year with NCAA tournament berth, you can't help but be excited about it.
Let's talk about this Anderson team because you've been in tight battles with them this season. In the 80 minutes that you've played, you've been tied for almost 15 of those 80 minutes. So it's been nip and tuck. 5 points have separated you. Buzzer beater here, tight game, 3-point game there. What's it going to take down the Trojans this weekend?
They're obviously a very good team. They won our league and was in the championship game today and was playing well. Just kind of hit a little dry spell there in the fourth quarter against Tusculum. And both of our games have been high-scoring games. They obviously have firepower and can score really well, and we've scored well against them. Like I said, it's only a 5-point differential between the 2 games, of which they got us both times. And, they'll be hungry coming out of the tournament to, get back on the winning column just like we are.
When you look at how this shakes out, Anderson, you played them a couple years ago when you went to the Elite Eight in that opening round. You have North Georgia, you have Clayton State in this pod as well. It's obviously a very difficult region. What's it going to take for your team to find a way to get 3 straight wins and win a region championship?
Well, we haven't, 2 years ago when we went to, we had that success. Hadn't really won a tournament game in a while, and we won those 3 in that particular year. Last year we go and face a really good Lander team and lose by 3. It's just getting our confidence back. I felt like we had confidence for most of the game yesterday against Tusculum. It's just we came out in that fourth quarter, and defense is what killed us the most. It wasn't necessarily offense. It was our lack of defense. Going into the tournament, it's anybody's ball game. I feel like our region, for the most part, is wide open. Obviously, Lander has the advantage because they're playing well and they're at home. But when you look at our side of the bracket with the teams that you mentioned, they're all really good. 2 of them in particular have really good size. We've seen all 3 of them this year, so we kind of have that familiarity going for us. But, it's the NCAA tournament. There's only 8 teams out of our region left, and all 8 teams can play. So it's going to be an exciting time down at Lander.
Let's take a look at your last 4 postseason games because you go back to Union. You were maybe an extra 5 minutes on that clock from maybe taking them down and getting to a Final Four. Last season against LMU, nip and tuck the whole way, takes overtime, you end up falling behind and losing. Lander last season had a chance to win that one, had chances down the stretch to potentially tie it or take the lead, couldn't do it. Tusculum, you had the lead most of the game, couldn't do it. Do you feel like it's a mental thing at this point for your team, and how do you get over that hump?
Honestly, I don't feel like it is a mental thing. I just think it's sometimes that's just the way it goes. We've talked about that before. You take 2 teams and you take one team that maybe they have a 3-point shooter that doesn't shoot as high a percentage and it goes in. We come down with a really good 3-point shooter, shoots the same shot, and it doesn't go in. Sometimes that's just the way it goes, and that's the way it is with basketball. And, sometimes it's teams 2 years ago, it was our time. It was our time, and we had some good luck and some good fortune. It's just we've had some rough games in the tournament in terms of just not being able to finish. Other teams have been excited to play us, and they finished the game well. But I don't think it's really a mental thing. I think our kids were playing hard yesterday. But Tusculum just made more plays down the stretch. They made more buckets, and therefore we come out of as a loser. But hopefully we can turn the tide on that and we won't be put out in the first round again in NCAA tournament. We can try our best to advance.
Coach, appreciate the time. We'll talk to you in Greenwood.
Thank you, Michael.
He's Carson-Newman coach Mike Mincey. I'm Michael Watching for the Eagle Sports Network.